Right, so for your next lesson on human defense systems, you will have been looking at specific and non-specific defense mechanisms. So, firstly, what you have on here is a summary of different defense mechanisms, and when we are talking about ones that are non-specific, we are talking about ones that don't discriminate between the different types of pathogens that are entering the body. So you've got different examples here. So for example, you've got ones such as skin that can produce microbial substances to kill off pathogens. Up in the nose and in the throat, you have hair and mucus, and their job is to trap particles that might enter down your nose or throat and then remove them via coughing and sneezing. And as well as that, you might look at something like the stomach, that is a non-specific defense mechanism because it contains hydrochloric acid, which kills off most pathogens that might enter your body through your mouth because they have to pass via the stomach before they get into the rest of the body. The other type of immune response is what we might call specific. So a specific immune response is one where you have cells, tissues and organs of your body that work together to defend against foreign invaders. Those foreign invaders otherwise being pathogens. Now, one of the most important cells in a specific immune response is a white blood cell, whose job it is to fight off pathogens. Now, you've got a couple of different ways in which white blood cells can fight off pathogens. First one being phagocytosis, which is where the white blood cell simply engulfs the pathogen and digests it, a bit like Pac-Man, as it were. Then, the second mechanism is white blood cells can produce what we call antitoxins. And as you will remember, bacteria produce toxins and sort of poisons that can make you feel ill when you have a bacterial infection. And so when white blood cells produce antitoxins, they prevent reactions to toxins by the body and stop you from feeling ill. And then thirdly, they can produce antibodies. And the job of an antibody is to go and basically find and bind to specific antigens, which are protein markers on the outside of pathogens that basically identify what they are. These antibodies, once they've attached to these antigens on the outside of pathogens, they basically allow something called coagulation, which clumps all of these pathogens together in one clump, and then it's easier for phagocytosis to occur and other white blood cells to come along and basically engulf a large amount of pathogens at once. So it causes coagulation, which can lead to further phagocytosis. And then when your body's produced antibodies, it keeps a record of them, it keeps a memory of them, so that if you are invaded by the same pathogen again, that record is invoked and the same antibodies are produced, and it allows for a quicker immune response. So that is what we refer to when something or someone has developed immunity. So they remember the pathogen, produce the correct antibodies to combat it.